It's finally here. The all-new Mitsubishi XForce is finally in the Philippines and we're now driving it. We're on the way to Tarlac Circuit Hill before we head to La Union for the night, and it's gonna be a long drive ahead of us today. We're in a, I think, 10-car convoy? I'm not sure. We're currently on NLEX. 4 people on board. We have Julian of Auto PH and Alex, Banawe Boy, and we have a trunk full of cargo, and we're cruising along the highway. So we're gonna see just how fuel efficient this one and see just how it performs, because this one is powered by a familiar 1.5 liter gasoline engine, the one found in the Expander, but it has a CVT. Right now, just right off the bat, some first impressions. This thing not only looks good on the outside, but it looks really, really good on the inside. This has a nice interior. It feels very modern, very stylish even. You got fabric trim here, you've got a nice mix of colors and accents, and it looks really good. We're gonna dive deeper into around this interior, once we do the full walk around, but for now, just those are my first impressions. Okay, so we're now at our first stop here at Petron Lakeshore. We drove for about 60 kilometers going here from Ayala Malls Cloverleaf, and I drove the entirety of this first segment, and so far it's been so good because the interior is really comfortable to be in, and I just like how calm it is to drive. We have a long day ahead, so I think after this we can switch drivers so I can enjoy the back seat, and we'll see how comfortable it is back there. Okay, so time for some back seat time. I am currently seated behind Alex. Alex, anong height mo?
I'm 5'11".
Sorry na. Sorry na. So, his seat position, he's 5'11", and as you can see, naka-de-quattro pa ako. So, comfortable naman dito. I guess my gripe with it is that medyo mataas to, yung seatbelt. Medyo nasasakal ako. So, for even shorter passengers, baka mas masakal pa kayo. But yeah, it's comfortable here. It's pretty quiet. Okay naman. NVH levels are a bit low inside this cabin. But as everyone else has pointed out throughout this ride, parang medyo matigas yung gulong. The XForce kasi, it sits on 18-inch wheels. So, medyo malaki. Medyo low profile yung tires. So, it feels kind of stiff when it runs over bumps, pero when it's just cruising on the highway on smooth asphalt, komportable siya. But yeah, just one thing to point out. Baka hindi na ako magdadrive until Tarlac Circuit Hill, which is fine because again, it's comfortable here. And baka matulog muna ako. Tapos malamig naman yung AC. We have AC vents dito. We have USB-C and USB-A ports dito. And dami kami merienda. Food sold separately. We're finally here at Circuit Hill, and we've had our lunch, we've changed our clothes, we are now in full event shirt mode, and we're about to start our drive. So our drive today consists of circuit driving and surprisingly off-road driving. So we're going to be able to try out the different drive modes of the XForce. So it's going to be, I think, half an hour's worth of drive. So I'm really excited because I'm curious how this is going to do off-road. Alright, so it was a fun day at the Tarlac Circuit Hill today, and we were able to drive this not only on track but also off-road. If I'm being honest, I wasn't really expecting to drive this on so much dirt, on so much tricky terrain today. But yeah, we drove through the track for just a bit. We tried out normal mode and wet mode. We had the portion of the circuit drowned in water, and we tried out just how well this handles, and mind you, it does handle really well. Of course, it doesn't have that much power because it's just a 1.5 liter engine, but it's still fun to drive through twisties because, as I said, it handles really well. Now, we also tried out gravel mode and mud mode, and we were able to drive across a lot of rocks and I didn't really know that this was built for that. Also, again, if I'm being honest, for a two-wheel drive vehicle, well, that was pretty impressive. We didn't get stuck, and we just played around, going around. Of course, it kept sliding because, again, it's not all-wheel drive, it's not 4x4, but again, it also goes to show just how capable this is off the beaten path. It's not an off-road vehicle, don't get me wrong, it's not an off-road vehicle, but it can tackle light trails and then some. So yeah, after this one, we're just gonna be driving all the way back to La Union. I'm gonna be a passenger princess for the rest of the day, and I'm gonna enjoy my time in the back of the X-Force, and we'll wrap things up once we get there. So we ran into some problems yesterday. Binagyo kami papuntang La Union and medyo late na kami nakauwi. So yeah, we're on to day 2. We're gonna do a bit of driving today and konti lang naman. So we'll be able to wrap this up and give you a proper walk around and just show you what's outside and the inside properly this time. Much better than we did yesterday. We've made it to the top of this view deck. There's a nice view, to be fair, but the X-Force did have a bit of a hard time going up that very, very steep climb. We had 4 people on board and no cargo this time, but it was just really, really steep for that 1.5 liter CVT combo. Nevertheless, we still made it, and well, it's time to go down afterwards. We just tried out how this will be on a steep climb. After this, I guess there are 2 more stops. I'm just gonna drive around La Union and just try out the X-Force further. I think after this one, I can get behind the wheel now. Okay, time to drive back. Maikli lang naman tong ruta papunta dito, but they're keeping us at intervals para hindi siguro magkahirapan pabalik. It's gonna be easy from here. Should be. I hope so. But yeah. Tarik ka. So this is what we climbed earlier. It really is very steep. So if you're wondering if this is a simulation of driving up to Baguio, is like, no, it is not. This is too steep and too short of a climb. Driving up to Baguio will entail a longer drive but less of an incline. Forward! Uy! Shoot na kami. Doon ka na muna. Anyway, that was Julian of AutoPH. He was in the shot, so we just got him out of the way. We finally got out of that ditch and we're here and we've settled down. So wait, we're shooting at a runway here in La Union, by a runway, and there's a plane just passing through, casually passing through. I think that just took off. No? Nakalis lang. Anyway, pretty cool. Cool stuff. So if you're into planes, that's for you. Anyway, so about that uphill climb again. So it's not your regular driving condition. It's a bit of an anomaly. You don't always have to go uphill like that. So that doesn't mean this will have a pretty rough time going up to Baguio. It will be a longer climb going uphill like that to that city, but it won't be that steep. So in case you were wondering, yes, I'm pretty sure just like most new cars, this will make it up to Baguio. Anyway, let's take a closer look at this design. So I like what Mitsubishi has done here. It's given the X-Force this next generation dynamic shield design, and this end looks very, very futuristic. If anything, it looks a bit out of place in Mitsubishi's local lineup because it looks like an electric car, even more electric than the Outlander PHEV. So this one has this almost T-shaped headlights. It's sort of like the Expander's headlamps, but they're a bit more stylish. And as for this grille, at first I was kind of weirded out how there was a gap between this and the hood. but it's growing on me, and I actually like how it looks. It looks more like a proper nose on a car, if you know what I'm saying. Underneath, it has underbody claddings that wrap all the way around the vehicle, and it sits on two-tone alloy wheels. So pretty much looks like a crossover from this segment. Now here at the back, it gets matching taillights, similar to the ones up front. And again, it looks very stylish, it looks very clean. I like how it's very simple here. You got the taillights, badges, two-tone finish, and that's about it. More underbody claddings, and yeah, that's it. Anyway, let's check out the interior. So it started to rain, buti na lang nasa loob na kami. But yeah, I started the car, para hindi masyado mainit, and it's really not that noisy. Nakabukas yung pinto, at least medyo tahimik yung auto. So if you're idling in your car, and sound deadening here is pretty okay, so it's gonna be fairly quiet. Anyway, let's take a look at this interior, which is very, very nice, by the way. I like how all of this looks. It's very modern Mitsubishi. It's nothing like the Expanders and the Monteros and everything else out there. I like the touch here, this fabric touch here on the dashboard, and the multiple color accents. Some people say it might be a bit too much, but I like it. It adds a lot of color and it pops. I also like how Mitsubishi has used the same controls or similar controls as the one found in the Triton. So they didn't go for touchscreen displays, none of that crap, but they instead used buttons and levers. So yeah, kudos to Mitsubishi for that. Underneath these AC controls, you have a USB-C charging port, a USB-A port, a 12-volt socket, and a wireless charger that's available in this top spec variant. Now up here, back up here, you have this large, I think this is a 10.25-inch infotainment system that has wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. This is paired with a digital display, this one in front of me, that has all the information you need. As for this one, this is also a bit similar to that of the Triton. It has new buttons here. It has gloss black panels. What I don't like about it is that it smudges very easily, although this one is really nice to the touch. Plastic here is pretty okay, build quality is okay. It doesn't feel cheap at all. Now one thing I also like about this cabin, there are a lot of storage spaces. You have a small cubby here by the driver, you have small cubby here on the dashboard, and of course a glove compartment, you have this one, and you have pockets on both sides of the center console. And you have 2 cup holders, bottle holders, and pockets on either side. You also have this deep storage compartment underneath the center armrest, which also has a cooling function. It's not that cool, but at least it'll keep your cold from getting warm. As for comfort, the seats here are stitched in soft leather. They're very nice to the touch and they're very comfortable to sit in. And the seats themselves have nice bolsters for your sides and for your shoulders. And the headrest is pretty soft as well. In terms of space, that's what I like about this one. I've already talked about that before, but I just want to point it out again. It's got a lot of leg room, headroom, and elbow room here up front. It's also easy to find the right seating position because you have... Sorry, wait lang. Yeah, you have tilt and telescopic adjustment for the steering wheel. You do have a knob to adjust the... Wait, let me try this out. Not exactly sure how it... There you go. So it moves this seat a bit up, a bit further up, and a bit further down. So we'll just show some B-rolls later, just show you how it looks. So with Julian and the stuff at the back out of the way, we can check out the second row seats. Oh, by the way, this one comes with a power lift gate, so pretty cool function. So here you have 40-20-40 folding seats, so you have this large armrest in the middle and these 2 cup holders. This is very, very comfortable. I actually really like sitting in the back seat. I spend a good time here and I'm enjoying my time in it because it's very, very spacious. So I can even do this and I have a lot of room to work with, which is awesome. And it has a few amenities as well. You have 2 AC vents, you have a USB-C and USB-A charging port at the bottom, and you have pockets for your phone. The armrests here are also stitched in leather. You have more of the gloss black plastic trim, more of this bronze-like trim. I don't know, I'm not really sure what color that is, but it actually adds a lot of texture to the rear seats. So you won't feel like you've been forgotten here. It's very, very comfortable, much better than in other subcompact crossovers. So after a couple of days with the X-Force, what do I think? Well, of course, there are things that I like and don't like about it. First, I actually like how it drives. It's very comfortable, it's very easy to drive. So first-time car buyers, which is part of what the target market will be for this one, will have to take a look at this one because it's very straightforward to drive, especially this one with the CVT. And it should be very fuel efficient. As we may have probably demonstrated already, this will have no problems ferrying 4 passengers and then some cargo. Of course, fuel economy will suffer a bit. I think we got about 13 kilometers per liter on the highway with some city driving. I'm sure that will improve with your regular house to office commute. Now, another thing I do like about this one is that it's actually pretty capable, not off-road, but it's capable off the beaten path. Sure, we did get stuck on gravel earlier today, but this isn't the car for that job. Clearly, it's not. That was a bad idea. Even the Triton, which we don't have footage of, had some difficulty going through that terrain. So, just goes to show how we shouldn't have done that. Anyway, it is done. We pushed it too far. But yesterday, we were driving this through an off-road track. As I've repeatedly said, I didn't expect to drive the X-Force through that, but it did the job just fine. If I'm being honest, I probably wouldn't drive on an Expander or an Expander Cross through that terrain, but this one did it just fine. And another thing I do like about it, well, the design. I know, design is subjective, but this looks pretty good. It's a big break from the Mitsubishis that we've been seeing all these years. I agree, the lineup looks a bit dated, and this is something fresh for the brand. I hope with the arrival of the Triton and this one, it's signaling a new era for MMPC in our market. Oh, and another thing I wouldn't want to forget, I like the interior, all of it. I like how it looks, I like how comfortable it is, and I like that head unit with that Yamaha sound system. I wasn't able to mention that earlier, but this one does come with Yamaha speakers, and it sounds absolutely great. It's not your 10-speaker premium audio setup, but in this segment, it's pretty darn good. Now, what I don't like about it, probably the ride in the second row. It's comfortable there, it's spacious there, but it feels a bit too harsh, especially when you're going through bumps, maybe because it does sit on large wheels. I probably wouldn't mind downsizing, giving it smaller wheels with chunkier tires just to improve ride comfort and whatnot. But yeah, I guess out of all the things that I like, that's the only thing I don't. Then again, we've only been driving this one for just a couple of days. Once we take it out for a proper review, we'll have everything there. Lay it out all for you. We'll probably even compare it, or not probably, we'll surely compare it with competitors in some big test episodes somewhere down the line. Now, the big question you probably have at this point is, bakit ako nagpapaulan? No, just kidding. What are the prices for this one? There are multiple variants available, and the pricing, unfortunately, isn't available yet as of this shoot. But we will have them down here in the comment section or somewhere down here. Charles, ikaw na bahala kung saan mo ilalagay. And supposedly, it's gonna... No, I'm not even gonna say the indicative pricing because it might be a bit far off. But anyway, it should be competitive. That's what I'm sure of. It should be very competitive. So, I guess we'll see you in the full review of the X-Force, which should be out soon, or I hope so. Payong payo.